Good morning, YouTube. This is Muse Monday. So happy Monday to everyone. I know it's like 10 minutes to 5. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. This is your home girl, Arabia, aka the BT 1000, aka the Jeeper Creeper on this shit, aka Lucy the Vampire, aka the German Shepherd in the goddamn room. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to especially thank all my subscribers. I want to thank all my subscribers, new and old, for those of you that have been with me for over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to all the new subscribers. I don't know how you found me, but you did. And I appreciate your view and I appreciate your support of this channel. Shout out to the chat. I'm not going to be here that long. But I just wanted to reflect on some of the things I've been seeing on these YouTube streets. And we're not going to talk about any YouTube creator I know. We're going to talk. It's very interesting when I say YouTube creator. And what I mean by YouTube creator, they make lemons. They make lemonade out of lemons. That's what they do. They make lemonade out of lemons. They use very little information to do their content. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I want to thank everyone that has been commenting under my videos. I appreciate your comments. And I try to answer everyone in a timely manner. I try to answer everyone in a timely manner, and I've been getting some very good comments. Even under the videos where the Law and Order music is being played and you see me tippity typing whatever I wanted to say in that particular video. It's a short video. All those are short videos. So shout out to everyone that supports this channel. Shout out to everyone. And we got a lot of YouTube creators that look at themselves and they create content. It's not necessarily gossip. I don't have to gossip about anyone in this sector. I don't have to gossip about anyone on this platform. The only one I can gossip about, it's me. Because I don't know anyone else. I love them. I know them, but I don't know anyone else. To the chat. And reality for me, I'm keeping it real. Keeping it real for not only me, but my audience as well. I'm not interested in what other YouTube creators are talking about, especially in the sector. I'll shout them out. People go there and sub up to that one. Sometimes I do content even so I talk about them. Why? Sometimes you want to fly, I want to accept the flowers that you give. Because some of my flowers are going to be criticism. I say, why don't you do better? certain YouTube creators are going to do videos that I don't agree with because I think it's repetition. They're repeating themselves. They're not making any new content. So if I talk about you and you're my YouTube creator, I'm subscribed to you. I'm not praising you, but I'm giving you your flowers by critiquing what you just said. I understand that people are at war and they are battling certain people in a sector on this platform. But when is it enough? When do you go too far? When do you go too far of making your point? Because if you really wanted to cocoa tassel the person that you're talking about, you would have already cocoa tasseled them and you would have vanquished them already. And vanquishing someone that you may not like or you may not agree with, vanquishing means to not talk about that person, to forget that they even exist, to forget that they even have a channel. We got some weirdos in this sector that they're not supposed to be on YouTube. First of all, we got a weirdo over here that's not supposed to be on YouTube, on anyone's platform. That weirdo is banned. That weirdo is banned from this platform. But they're constantly here. They're constantly talking about someone. They're constantly criticizing someone. They're constantly tearing someone else down. Instead of tearing other people down, they need to look in the mirror. They need to reflect on what the fuck they're doing. They're not perfect. They're not God Almighty. And I'm talking about some of those weirdos that are jock strap sluts. They like to protect another man's nuts, and the man nuts that they're protecting, he's not even in the sector no more. He went on to another platform. He on left them. Not saying that he's not going to come back to YouTube because he can come back, but he realizes there's a lot of tonteria going on in the sector. Shout out to the chat. One of my YouTube creators, brown skin, shout out to her. She did a video a few weeks ago that I didn't appreciate. I didn't like. I'm not saying that she was talking about me. No, she wasn't. She was talking about another YouTube creator, and everyone knows who that is. I'm not going to mention their names. I'm not going to mention them because they're Kwamites. In order to get rid of the Kwamites, you need to stop talking about them. Stop giving them life. If they say something about you, you don't necessarily have to respond. You don't. You don't have to do anything. Only thing you have to do is be you. Be authentically you. Unapologetically you. You don't have to apologize for being who you are. You don't. You don't have to do it. And there's this one YouTuber I just started watching just recently. And this YouTuber is a New Yorker. This YouTuber lives in New York. Well, I can't really say that they are a New Yorker because they're not from this country. They wasn't born here. Sometimes people make the mistake of saying that they are from a certain place and they know they're not from there because you wasn't born there. You may have went to school there. You may have experienced certain things, living in certain areas, but you're not from there. I'm a New Yorker. 5 generations. 5-generation New Yorker. That means me, I'm from there. My father, my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great grandmother's mother, and so on and so on and so on. There's more people in my family that are ancestors that are from the New York area. We were all born there. We were all raised there. We all went to school there. We all experienced different things. We did. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Those that are not here will catch the playback. But we got a lot of people on this app that say that they got this, they got that. I'm not interested in what someone has material wise. I'm not interested in what kind of house you got. I'm not interested in the car you got. Because we all seen on this app where people lie. People lie about what kind of house they got, what kind of car they got, what kind of money they got in their bank account. I'm not concerned about what you got unless you're sharing it with me. Unless you're sharing it with me. Shout out to the chat. Unless you're sharing it with me. Let's hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. We got some ghost watchers. We don't got tippity typey right now, but we got ghost watchers. And I appreciate my ghost watchers. I appreciate them. I appreciate them. I love the way they support the channel. Sometimes they don't like to rush in and show themselves. They don't have to. They can do whatever they want to do. They can do whatever they want to do. But yeah, we got a lot of shit going on on this platform. But that one YouTuber I was watching yesterday, he had nothing but negative things to say about New York. He had nothing positive to say, nothing good to say, just all negative, negative, negative. And we get that a lot from people that are not from this country. We get that a lot. We get people that come to this country and they complain about living in our neighborhoods. We didn't ask you to come over here. You can kindly get on an airplane or get on a boat and go back to from where you came from. Donald Trump is he's in the White House. He has signed the executive order. For those that are unhappy with this country and you know you're not citizens, you're unhappy, you're constantly criticizing Black Americans. You constantly criticize, and that's what I'm starting to notice a lot about people that are not American. They might live in America, but they're not American. They move in our neighborhoods and they're criticizing Black Americans. They're criticizing the FBA, fundamentally Black Americans. That means born here, raised here. Some of our ancestors were slaves. So if you don't like this country, a country that my ancestors helped build and establish, you can get back on your boat, on your airplane, and go back home. We don't want you over here. We don't want you around us. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of. That one particular YouTuber, he was live yesterday. He was on Vertical. He lives in New York. He does security work. and he constantly criticizes the neighborhoods and what's going on. He's talking about gentrification. Let me tell you something, sir. White people have gentrified their own selves. They have victimized their own selves. White people don't like each other. So if they don't like each other and they took time out while they was over there in Europe destroying each other, of course they're gonna go all around the world. Some people, some not all, they're gonna go all around the world and destroy wherever they go. That's history. That's history. But I find it very interesting. These black people, they have black skin like myself. They speak English like myself, but they were not born here. They were not born here. Their mother wasn't born here. Their father wasn't born here. Their grandparents wasn't born here. Their great grandparents wasn't born here. Their great grandparents' parents wasn't born here. Shout out to the chat. And this man wears a black net baseball cap. Looked like he had that baseball cap for 8 years. He takes public transportation to get to certain areas that he want to go to in New York. He lives in the Brooklyn area because I heard him say he lives in Brooklyn. He said he's from Brooklyn, but he's not from Brooklyn. See what I'm saying? And isn't this why Tariq Nasheed and some other YouTube creators, well-known YouTube creators, are speaking out against those that are not from this country? I know I'm stepping on toes. I really don't give a fuck because I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. You don't like this country. You don't like living in New York. You don't like being around other black people. Please exit stage left. You got your exit. You got your passport. You got your visa. You got everything you need to leave. Just go. And then that same YouTuber, he was praising Notorious Big, you know, he's from Brooklyn, his mother came from such and such and such. He was praising Biggie, but trying to put down Tupac. There's some people on this internet that are looking at the Mary J. Blige clips from some of her tour. Now, everyone knows who Mary J. Blige is. She's an R&B singer from Yonkers, New York. She grew up in the slow bomb housing projects that's located in Yonkers, New York. And that particular project is not that far from Getty Square. Now, people have been watching Mary J. Blige for years and years. We all heard her sing her songs. We all watched her music videos. We all watched her dance. We all watched her have her ups and her downs. And now they're trying to tear down Mary J. Blige and say that the person that you seen on stage is not Mary J. Blige, is a clown. We got all these smart asses. Look close. It's Mary J. Blige. That's not a clone. She's dancing. She's singing on the stage. She's doing her job. She's doing her job. And you got some people hating on the fact that this woman is doing her job. And she's doing the best that she can do. Unfortunately, she cannot retire because she got to pay alimony to some dude that she married. That's what she got to do. Mary J. Blige ain't doing nothing to nobody. She's up there doing what she needs to do for herself. Shout out to her. Shout out to the YouTube streets. Shout out to the chat. But yeah, it's getting serious, man. And most of the people that are complaining about our our entertainers are not from this country. They complained about Whitney. They complained about Michael. They complained about Prince. They complained about Public Enemy. They complained about Chaos One. They complained. They complained about TLC, especially Left Eye. Complain, complain, complain. Criticize, criticize, criticize. Half of these people not even from this country. They black just like me and you, but they want to complain. Go figure why they want to do that. Why they want to participate in doing all that. We already having enough problems with the shit that's going on in this country where they are reversing everything. They're taking a lot of our rights away. They're targeting immigrants. They're targeting the Black African American community. They're targeting us. I'm going to put it like this. I'm not going to even put a color on it. They're targeting anyone that does not have they don't earn a certain amount of money a year. That's who they're targeting. They did it when they first started. Certain immigrants come over to this country. You had to come for money. Your family had to have some kind of influence to even come to this country. Now, I don't know what kind of influence my great grandfather had when he came over to this country. Last name Barbosa. He came to this country over 100 years ago. Over 100 years ago. He came to this country during the 1920s. But he came with a humble attitude. He didn't get up there and start criticizing the people he lived around. And if he didn't like where he lived around, he moved. Not only did he move, he took his whole family with him. My grandmother and them, they used to live in Harlem. But before she became a teenager, they all moved to where? New Rochelle. That's where they moved. Me, I moved all over the place in Westchester County. Growing up, that's what I did. I lived. And I always shout out the 914. I always do. I'm always going to shout out the 914. Because that's where I'm from. That's where my father is from. You know what I mean? My grandmother, she was born in the city, in Harlem. Her mother was born in Harlem. Her mother before her was born in Harlem. See, I can look back in my family history and my family tree and say, oh my goodness, we've been in New York for quite a quite some time. Generations. We stretch back. We go we go far back. Because my great grandmother is Native American. Okay. So we go far back. Shout out to the chat. I know a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. A lot of people don't get what I'm saying. That's fine. You don't have to get or understand what I'm saying. Only thing you know is what you know about me. Shout out to the chat. And that's reality. But we got a lot of people on this platform, not so much in this sector, but on this platform, because I go in different places on these YouTube streets. I be in this sector, then I leave from this sector, and I might go to another sector. I might just hit the live button to see who's live, and most of those people that's doing live videos are on vertical, and there's certain ones I'll watch and certain ones I'll listen to. You know what I mean? Because I want to stretch myself out. You know what I mean? If I want to listen to music, I'll listen to music. If I want to watch movies, I watch movies. If I want to go on the language channels, I'll go on the language channels. Shout out to the chat. There's no law says I gotta stay here directly in this sector of YouTube. I can go wherever I want to go. As long as I pay my bill, I can go wherever I want to go. And when I press that live button, I can go live. I don't have to ask nobody permission. If I want to co-host with someone else, I can do that too. If someone is going live and they're my YouTube creator and they got the link drop and they was like, well, people need, if people want to, they can hit the link and come up, you know, ask me a question, let's have a conversation. And if I feel like doing it, I'll hit the link and I'll go up there. And I will speak with whomever is hosting the channel. That's how I do things. That's how I do things. I don't know what nobody else do. I don't care. I'm not concerned about that. But I am concerned about people making these comments about America. They're so un-American, but they want to live here. They don't like the policies, but they want to live here. My people been here for generations. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't. I can stay right here. I got family that live here in the United States, and I got family that live in Cape Verde. I got family that live in Europe. I got family that live in Brazil. I got family that live in Mexico. I got family that live in Puerto Rico. But I'm right here in the United States. I was born here. I was raised here. And I'm going to die here. Shout out to the chat. And that's reality. That's real. That's real for me. I don't give a fuck what nobody else do. I truly don't. Because when I come on this YouTube streets, I can't talk about nobody else. Not really. The only person I can talk about is me. I can only tell my story. Let me tell my story. Shout out to Queen Regina for bringing us out that catchphrase. Let me tell my story. We heard Queen Regina saying it all the time. We need to give her props. When we say shout out to Queen Regina. She was the one that came up with that catchphrase. She's the one that did that. Just like I use the word dweeb. When I use it, I like to say shout out to brown skinned lady. That's where I got that word from, dweeb. But when I say my words, tonteria, kuja na mimi, kula chakula, miji baridi, ven aquí conmigo, las comidas está lista para ti. Tengo una pregunta para ti. If I want to say, yo, it is what it is, yo, that's what I say. But I have yet to hear anyone say Nini Kuzimu, Kila Bakati. I've yet to hear anyone say that. I have yet to hear anyone say Papa Dios. I have yet to hear anyone say Que Diablo. I have yet to hear anyone say Dios mío, abre la puerta. I have yet to hear it. I have yet to hear anyone say Rafiki, Amada Piki. I have yet to hear anyone say Unakari Bishwa. I have yet to hear anyone in the sector say those words. Because not only do I speak English, I speak a little Spanish, I speak a little Swahili. That separates me from some of the people in the sector. That separates me. And some people, they don't like it. They don't like when I start speaking that Swahili. They can't stand it. You know why they can't stand it? Because they're ignorant and they don't know what I'm saying. And they don't try to find out what I'm saying either. I may come up here and do a whole segment and break it down. Break down the Swahili language for you. Show you how to learn it on your own. And you learn it the way you learn how to speak English. Shout out to the chat. And I'm still American. I'm still a native New Yorker. Shout out to the chat. I'm still that. Whether I speak Spanish, whether I speak Swahili, or whether I speak English. Shout out to chat. What are people going to do if I hit their link and there's nothing but Swahili coming out my mouth? What they going to do? If I hit just speaking straight Spanish, what they going to do? I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to ask, well, Arabia, what did you just say? Or why did you phrase it like that? You know what I mean? Only very few people in this sector actually understand what I'm saying when I say my words. Actually, very few of you actually understand. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I'll type those words in the chat, the host will probably stop what they're doing and be like, yo, Arabia, what does that mean? And then I have to translate it for them. You know what I mean? I don't have to be an asshole all the time. I can translate for you. I can tippity type what I'm typing and put it in and put the English translation in parentheses. That's what I do. Or slash them and just translate it for you. Because some people, they're not used to it. They know that I'm going to do it. They just don't know when. Especially if you say something funny or they're saying something about someone and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's scary, cause some problems, and I'll type in Nini Kuzimu, Kila Wakati. Or they'll say something else, like something really bad, and I'll say Dios mío or Papa Dios. Or they'll say something about somebody I don't like. I'll be like, that dude is a payaso. That dude is a mecundu. That dude is a vato. That dude is a pendejo. That dude is la calle basura. That guy or that girl is a mentiroso. Or I might say it in Swahili. You never know. You never know what you're going to get when I come into your chat. You know what I mean? I was in someone's chat the other night, right? And there was only two of us in the chat. There was only two of us in the chat. And that person was having a good time. They was in the bar and everything. They was having a darn good time. And I said, "Oh shit, I can't be in this chat. it might aggravate me to see them having a couple of drinks and having a good time. Let me leave from out of this chat." Or if I go into someone else's chat and they're too controversial, I'll stay there for a few minutes and then I'll leave. Then I'll come back and then I'll do the replay. You know what I mean? It's just certain things I'll do and certain things I won't do. You know? That's just me. I have to do what's good for me. What makes me comfortable, what makes me happy, that's what I must do. That's what I must do. You know what I mean? Especially when I'm dealing with other YouTube creators. Like if I'm just posting on my channel, that's a different story. I can basically do what I need to do for my audience. If they like it, then I like to do more of it. You know what I mean? And I try not to tippity type in Spanish and Swahili too much because a lot of people don't understand. They could understand, but they don't. You know what I mean? Or they might become inquisitive and curious, but not necessarily. It's okay. It's cool. I understand. Shout out to the Ghost Watchers. We got Ghost Watchers. People in the bushes, thank you for coming over. Good morning. Thank you for visiting with me. I appreciate your view. Hit the like button, please. Hit that like button if you please. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, but I'm not going to be up here that long. I just want to come in real quick and say good morning to everyone. I'm acknowledging it's Monday. It's Muse Monday. Muse Monday. And I get the word muse from a song that used to be very popular a few years ago. And I'm thinking about when I used to work at the Home Depot right there in Yonkers, New York. Yeah, I used to work at that particular Home Depot. I used to work at that Home Depot and Stu Leonard's. This was years ago. But I remember when I first started working at the Home Depot because I remember what kind of job they had me doing. And it was my job to come in and stock all the shelves of the area they had me working in. They started me out on the outside garden. So I was out there. Then they pulled me from there and I started working on the inside garden. Then they pulled me from there. I started working in hardware. Then I worked in the electrical department for a while, plumbing department for a while. And when you're working for the Home Depot, you have to take classes because they have online classes that you have to take, and you have to complete a certain amount of classes before the end of the quarter. So you only have a certain amount of time to complete certain classes, to do certain certifications. So that's what you have to do. in order for your pay to be a certain way. You know what I mean? Or for you to even be employed there for a while. I worked for the Home Depot for like 9 months. 9 months. I got fired from there because there was one particular night I came in and my supervisor was like, "Hey, Ray, we want to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. We cutting everybody's hours, you know. It's winter time, ain't too much going on during the winter, blase, blase." And I was like, "Well, why are you telling me?" And what they was getting mad at me about, they was getting mad at me because I was clocking in to do my online classes. I said, "Wait a minute, you don't want me to clock in to do my online?" Because that is the policy. When you do the online classes at the store, you have to clock in. After you finish doing your classes, then you clock out. They was getting mad at me about that. Yo, I just cursed them out. I had to curse them out, man. I'd be like, "Yo, that's some bullshit. Don't come to me with this bullshit. Matter of fact, fuck this. I'm going home." I went back out there to the bus stop, got on the bus, and took my black ass home. Shout out to the chat. Because ain't no way in the world you gonna tell me in order to work here, you gotta take a certain amount of classes, a quarter, or you gotta complete a certain amount of online classes in a certain amount of time. And when people do it, then you wanna get on them and say, "Look, we don't need you to clock in and do the classes." But that's in the handbook. That's what they tell you when you go to orientation. Before you do any classes at the Home Depot, you clock in. Then you get on the computer, do your classes, complete whatever tasks you're doing, turn off your computer or whatever the case may be, and clock back out. Shout out to the chat. Simple. Simple. See, I follow instructions. When I go to a job, I fucking follow instructions. If I go to a construction site and the superintendent comes out and says, "Look, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. I need you to work on this floor. I need you to go that floor. I need you to gather up all the trash in these trash bags. Need you to gather up all the trash, put it in the carts, and make sure everything gets to the dumpster. Dump all the trash. I need you to sweep down all the floors, get up all the loose trash. I need you to go down to the next floor and do the same thing. I need you to go on to up another floor and do the same thing." Shout out to the chat. Just like when we was working at the Walmart ticket. What would I do? I would come in early. I wouldn't bother anyone. I would go to the break room. I watch the TV for a little while. Then I turn on my phone. Then I'm on YouTube. That's it. Until it's time for me to get on the dance floor and make my money. What am I doing? Unstocking the pallets and putting the stuff on the shelves. I'm zoning the shelves. That's my instructions. If they tell me to do that, that's exactly what I do. If they tell me, "Look, Arabia, we need you to clean the store tonight. We need you to be on the machine tonight. We need you to clean all the bathrooms tonight," that's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. That's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. If I go on a ticket, right, and they put me to work in the warehouse, I gotta do whatever the supervisor tell me to do. If they tell me we just need you to construct the boxes, that's what I'm doing. If they tell me we need you to construct the boxes and load the boxes with the merchandise, that's exactly what I'm doing. put it and receive it in your. That's exactly what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not gonna do any more or any less. Same thing with dishwashing. You come in, you clock in, you take out all the trash first. Take all the trash out. You realign the trash receptacles. You come back in, you sweep, you mop down the floor real good. Then you clean out the dishwashing machine. Clean that out. After you get the dishwasher machine refilled, spray down your dishes. Start running your dishes through. When your dishes are finished running through, then you take them off their dish racks and you stock them in the areas that the dishes go in. You do the same thing for pots and pans. If they got a pot and pan sink, then you scrub out the pots and pans. You do your scrubbing. You do whatever you need to do the job. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. And same thing when you come on these YouTube streets. Everyone has to follow YouTube guidelines. If they say do X, Y, and Z, you do X, Y, and Z. If you plan on having a channel. Now, if you plan on getting monetized, that's something different. And there's a lot of people on this app that's running around telling the whole world they're going to monetize their channel. The best thing for them to do is not to say anything. Don't tell people when you get ready to get your channel monetized. Just let people be surprised when they come in your chat. You know what I mean? And it's kind of funny to me that people on this app would complain. A few months ago, they were complaining about Clara Booker being on in the sector, but I see that Clara Booker's in some of y'all chats. I see that going on. She's not in my chat. She know not to come over here. I'll boot her ass right on out of here. She will be booted out of here and will be blocked. Clara Booker is a troll. She comes on this app. She doxes people, which is unnecessary. Because if you got the fighting power that you can, the cocotazo, and vanquish your enemies or vanquish your foes, your opposition, there's no need for you to dox anyone. That's a coward's way out. Doxing. And I want everyone to know, doxing is going against the YouTube guidelines. It goes under cyber harassment and bullying. That's where it goes under. Shout out to the chat. For those that didn't know, doxing is going against YouTube guidelines. You got some people on this app, they get angry with other people for saying whatever they said about them or whatever the case may be. Then they want to take these people to court. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Defend your own self. Handle your own situation. Because when you go to court, the judge is going to look at you like, what? What happened? I don't want to listen to that tape. That's nothing but hearsay. I don't want to look at that video. That's hearsay. That's not concrete evidence that something that happened to you or somebody threatened you or somebody stalking you or doing. And now, if somebody's stalking you or cyberbullying you or harassing you, yes, you have the right to say something. Say something. But don't go around doxing people. That is the weakest job turkey shit that goes on in this sector and perhaps other sectors as well. That is job turkey bullshit. That's being a coward. That's being a coward. I understand that people get angry and frustrated, but isn't this a beef sector? Isn't this a sector where people argue with each other? Isn't it? Let me know. Maybe I'm in the wrong sector. But this is the sector I started out with because Tommy Sotomayor was over here. I can't help it that them losers, KB and Gilbert Arenas came. And a lot of you are being the fool, letting Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown play in your fucking face. They're just using all of you. They're using you for entertainment purposes. They're making fools out of you. They're laughing at you. They're using you. They weaponize your channels to go after other people. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And half of you do it because you want to get money out of Gilbert Arenas. You want to get money out of KB. What you gonna do when karma comes back around and you, now let me say, you might have did what they asked you to do. What you gonna do when shit hit the fan and karma come back around and that same shit that they had you do to someone happens to you? Are you gonna be able to go to Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown and ask for their help? Hell to the fuck no. Them two clowns, they're not gonna help you. They're gonna be laughing at you. They're going to be pointing the fingers at you. They're going to be judging you. And they're going to be laughing at you. And they're going to embarrass you in front of the whole sector. That's exactly what the fuck they're going to do. I think Tommy warned all of you about Kwame Brown. So don't be surprised about the little tactics that they're doing. And we see the stupid civil war that's going on between TJ and Damn D and all that. We all know that this is a fake civil war. We know that. I don't give a fuck if TJ and Damn D and Kevlo fight each other. I don't give a fuck about none of that because all them dudes, all them clowns over there are Quamites. So what do I give a fuck about another beta male? I don't give a fuck about those beta males. I don't give a fuck about those jock strap sluts. I don't give a fuck about those pathetic creep weirdo dweebs. I don't give a fuck about those Macundos. I don't give a fuck about those pendejos. I don't give a fuck about those vatos. I don't give a fuck about those payasos. I don't give a fuck about those mentirosos. I don't give a fuck about the La Calle Basura. I don't give a fuck about them. I don't. Shout out to the chat. I truly don't give a fuck about them. I don't. If you're a Cormite, I don't give a fuck about you. I truly don't. I don't care. You got Bishop Baby Oil over there as Kufu. He trying to get back in with the Quamites. But the thing about Bishop as Kufu, he hides behind that fucking Bible. But everybody knows deep down inside he's off the chain. Everybody knows deep down inside he's no good. Even though you might give him a chance and y'all might be able to converse one time, that's about it. You're not gonna see eye to eye with that dude. You're not gonna agree with him. You know what I mean? Because a leopard never change. A leopard can't change who they are. A cheetah can't change who they are. A zebra can't change who they are. So Bishop Baby Oil over there as Kufu, he can't change who the fuck he is. That's who the fuck he is. Shout out to the chat. So it is what it is. So I did my part. I did my video for today. I might go live later. I'm not exactly sure. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. But I want to thank everyone for coming over and visiting with me. I want to thank everyone for your view and your support of this channel. You may agree with me, you may not agree with me, that's fine. I'm going to practice my First Amendment rights, and I'm going to say what I need to say. It's just certain things I just can't. I just can't. I just can't. In my old age, I'm 52 years old. I'm not going to be putting up with a whole lot of shit. A whole lot of shit that I put up with when I was in my 20s and my 30s, and partially in my 40s, because I believe by the time I got 35 years old or 36 years old, that's when a lot of uh my thoughts and my ways started being cemented, started cementing it, you know. And I knew that it would be hard for me to change 20 years down the line, 15 years down the line. I already knew that. I have no plans on changing. I have no plans on changing who I am to fit anyone else's criteria of me. I am the BT 1000. I don't need to change. I need to be who the fuck I am. Who the fuck I am. But you know what, you guys? I realized being a dry drunk, right? And I heard someone say it last night. I heard someone say it last night when I went over there into their video. They say a dry drunk can stay off of whatever substance they're using, right? And get so frustrated and agitated with it, and start picking up and using it again. But everyone don't make it back. Look what happened to Amy Winehouse when she stopped and then she restarted. Look at what happened. She overdid it. The poor woman ended up getting alcohol poisoning. That's what happened to her. So some things going to have to change, but some things will remain the same. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here, you guys. Y'all have an awesome day. Peace out. Stay safe out there. Be aware of your surroundings. We are surrounded by the enemy. And I'm telling God honest truth, we are surrounded by the enemy. In the other camp and in our own camp too. And what makes it so bad, our own people are the ones that are going to do it to us. Just like when I got jumped over here a few years ago, I was jumped right here in North Charleston, over there by the DSS office, just before you get to Church's, well, not Church Chicken, that chicken place, that Church's Chicken. Just before I got down there, man, shit, and it was a bunch of niggas. It was a bunch of niggas. There wasn't no white people that did that shit. Ain't not one cracker did nothing to me over there. Even now to this day, I know who my main enemies are. Even though I know that it is other people from other ethnic groups, but it's mostly from my own people. Ain't that something? That's a nightmare. No way. You already know you're in a war, you're involved in a war. You didn't sign up for the war, but you was born into this war. And not only do you have to fight other ethnic groups, you got to fight your own people. It's fucked up, but that's reality, right? That's the way the cookie crumbles, right? Yeah. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. Peace.